Let's give a big welcome to Mark Jones! Good evening! I've had a weird start to this gig already. I was just standing over there, just getting a little bit warmed up, you know, like stretching out. And a guy in a hat, you can probably see him there, complained to me about his drink. Have you got any more lemonade? I was like, just fuck off, I'm the act, I'm going on now. So as I said, I'm Matt Jones, and yesterday I went to the ENT. I've got an ear infection at the moment. So if you do find anything funny, can you just give us a little wave? Can we just have a little practice? It's good to see people laughing. I actually went to the walk-in first, like last week, and I was like, oh, I've got this ear infection. And there was a guy sitting next to me, and he was just absolutely fucked. And you know those little egg carton things that you get if you're going to be sick? I was like, oh, what's up with you, mate? And he's like, oh, it's 50p of vodka, mate. And he just spewed in this thing, and it was just pure green. It was like fluorescent green. And I thought to myself, this guy needs some help. So I called the nurse over and said, like, could you sort this guy out? She started having a little chat with him. She's like, what have you had? And he's like, oh, 20. Starts counting how many vodkas he's had. And she's like, more importantly, what have you had to eat? And he just said, all I've eaten all day is a tin of mushy peas. So I've had, it's a free night, this, isn't it? Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's have a little look around. Oh, yeah, cheeky little chappy, and good that they let the homeless in as well, isn't it? You were the closest to it, mate. So, what's your name? Lee. They give them names as well. That's good. So, a little hospital story for you. My nan was in hospital not so long ago, and she was in the Liverpool Royal. She actually died in the Royal, which was unfortunate, but it was quite funny circumstances, so I'm going to tell you. She was having a cataract operation, and she released herself, and she got hit by the revolving door. Me and Mum... I know. That's not meant to be the funny, but... She fell to the ground, and me and my mum were outside, and I thought, oh, shit. I legged up, and there was like a nurse and a doctor on call straight away. I just stood back and watched, and was like, oh, what the fuck's going to happen here? Are they going to be able to bring her around? And they did, just for a split second. And then she just kept going. God bless her. I'm not Catholic, so that's my God bless you. And I thought to myself, like, she's in heaven now, and it made me think, like, how has she got to heaven? Because in my head, you're meant to go on a stairway up to heaven, or like walk up, aren't you? And you're like, fucking hell. And she'll be stuck in that escalator, and she'll just be stuck in purgatory on the way up. Heaven to me is just like the weirdest thing in the world. You go on that stairway, so you walk up a shitload of stairs, or get the escalator. Then you don't worry about the can, just give it a kick. Then you wait in a massive queue. And then you get judged by some fat bearded fella whether you can get in or not. And I was like, I've been there before. That's Liverpool Airport, that. Do you believe in heaven? Not really. It's a good thing, because I don't either. Because, when you think about it, it's, you go there and you've walked up all those stairs, you get to heaven, and I was thinking, if I could meet all my relatives from from many generations ago, and you could have a family meal with them, you'd have your granddad, your great granddad, your great great granddad, and it would go back generation upon generation. You'd be on this massive table, and then there'd be like prehistoric man right at the end, just fucking smashing your gran over their head with a mallet. Be thinking, this is shit. Do you think dogs and cats go to heaven? You can speak. Have you got a cat?
No, I've got a dog.
Oh, you got a dog. Well, my dog, does your dog ever do this? Like, just suddenly freaks out and goes, what the fuck's that? And he makes everyone in the room look, and you're like, he's just seeing a ghost. My dog's dead. And I know he's up there now, freaking out at all the ghosts. He's just like, what the fuck? And as far as cats are concerned, they're evil as fuck. They're going straight down to hell. If you send cats to heaven, you've got to send cars as well. Because my next door neighbour's car just sits. My next door neighbour's cat even. It's like a predictive text thing, that, isn't it, when you do cat and car? My next door neighbour's cat just sits under the car and looks at me like proper dodgy. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, nothing. Just unscrewing shit. So we're on the hospital subject here, so I'll just tell you a little story about the day I nearly lost my willy. I was in the Royal Hospital in the waiting area, and my mate gave me a lift down. I basically got my foreskin stuck behind my helmet. Yeah, it's a cheesy joke, so go with. And I walked in and I said, oh, I've got my foreskin stuck behind my helmet. They said, oh, right, just go through to triage. So I went through, and the woman said to me, easy solve for this. Just get this glucose solution, put one hand there and one hand on top, and hold it for about an hour, and it'll take the swelling down. So I did. Put one hand there, one hand on top. She looked at me, took a closer look, and went, you can just use one hand, sir. If I wasn't embarrassed enough by that stage, the doctor came through and said, there's a procedure that we're going to carry out here, and it's called replacing the penis. To my dismay, I'm thinking to myself, that doesn't sound right. It's actually, he replaces it back into place. I thought he was going to show me a brochure full of dicks, and I'd have to pick my dick. As you can tell from my face, God's not designed me very well. If I give you a little side-on profile, I'm just a face on a neck. I think God put his hand into the little bucket and just thought, fuck it, we've run out of necks. Right, send him down anyway. I'm not very good on the old dating game. And one of my mates gave me a chat-up line. I was in a little Irish pub called Shenanigans, and he says to me, go and chat to that girl over there, and here's a chat-up line. All you have to do, tap her on the shoulder and say, have you ever had a parrot on that shoulder? And she'll say, no. Have you ever had a parrot on that shoulder? And she'll say, no. Then look at her straight in the face and say, bet you've had a cock or two in there. So I took his advice, and I tapped her on the shoulder, and she just turned around to me and went, fuck off. And I thought, I'm not having this. I'm not having this. We're going to have another go. Excuse me, can I tell you my story? She agreed. I said, have you ever had a parrot on that shoulder? And she said, no. It's going well. Have you ever had a parrot on that shoulder? And she said, no. I got all excited at this point. I'm thinking, oh, I'm building up to my punchline. Looked her straight in the face. Forgot the punchline. I just said, you suck cock. You've been lovely. I've really enjoyed this. So thank you very much. I've been Matt Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, get up with Matt Jones!